an island created by the government for the world's most dangerous criminals, an open prison where there were no rules. But the story takes a turn when three girls are also sent to this island of death. What will happen to these girls? Will they be able to survive in this hell? Let's find out in today's story. The story begins with a government bill which talked about turning a deserted island into Prison Island. The city's most dangerous criminals, who had committed heinous crimes, were to be sent to this island. Most citizens were happy with this decision. They felt it would make the city safer and confine all the filth to one place. Some even believed that if all the criminals lived together, they would fight and kill each other off. But the real twist was yet to come. On this very island, among the ferocious prisoners, 3 female inmates were also being sent. The government didn't want to spend any more money on these prisoners, so they made the island habitable and started sending all the criminals there one by one. They were left there to die, because surviving on that island was no less than a death sentence. All sorts of criminals had established their own world there. Meanwhile, a news channel decided to make a documentary on this island. Everyone wanted to know how the prisoners were living there, especially those 3 girls. The channel prepared a list of all the inmates. Someone had robbed a bank, while another had murdered his own parents. Just then, a new prisoner was about to arrive on the island. Her name was Carmen, and her crime was the murder of her husband. Some officers came to drop her off on the island. They told her that she had now been declared dead in government records, because whoever comes here never goes back. After saying this, they left. When Carmen took her first step on the island, she was greeted by a corpse floating in the sea. Seeing this, she understood that the officers were right. Coming here was like inviting death. But Carmen was not one to be scared by these things. She was very brave. She made her shelter by the seashore and took out the necessary items she had brought with her, which included some food, clothes, and other things. The first night passed somehow, but the next morning when she woke up, she saw someone staring at her from above. She got scared and became alert. The stranger was now coming down towards her. That man's name was Dr. Milford. Seeing Carmen scared, he said, "Don't worry, I won't harm you. It's my job to welcome new prisoners." Hearing this, Carmen asked, "How many people are there in total?" The doctor replied, "When I came, there were 75. Now, only 45 are left." Hearing this, Carmen's heart filled with terror. In a trembling voice, she asked, "Where did the rest of the people go?" The doctor pointed to the floating corpse in the water and said, "Some are right in front of you. This is a daily occurrence here. We are all murderers, so we murder here too. Although I have never killed anyone to this day." Carmen gathered her courage and asked, "How many girls are here?" The doctor said, 3. It would have been better if there were more. His words revealed what the condition of girls must be here. After he left, Carmen thought all night and decided she would go up to the prisoners' camp. After all, she couldn't survive here alone. As morning came, she headed towards the camp above. A whole settlement was established there. All the prisoners were busy with their work. But as soon as Carmen arrived, all eyes were fixed on her. Bobby, who was the leader of the camp, sent one of his men to handle Carmen. When Carmen saw him approaching, she extended a hand of friendship, but he had come to teach her a lesson. He touched Carmen inappropriately and said, "Here, only Boss Bobby's orders work. You have to do whatever he says. Otherwise, the consequences will be very bad." Carmen resisted him, but the man threw her to the ground and threatened her not to make such a mistake again. Carmen screamed for help, but no one came forward. Here, humanity is the biggest crime. The first rule of this jungle was, no one helps anyone here. From here, Carmen's real survival was about to begin. At night, when she went into a hut to sleep, the 3 girls already there kicked her off the bed. They said it was their place and she would have to sleep on the floor. Carmen felt very sad that, being girls themselves, why were they doing this to her? One of them replied, "This is the law here. We are here only to fulfill the needs of the men, and soon you will do the same. When they call, you will have to go." But this was not acceptable to Carmen. She started to go outside, but the prisoners standing outside pushed her back in. Now she got angry. She understood that all this was common here, but she would not let it happen to herself. She grabbed one of the girls' hair and threatened her, saying, "If anything wrong happens to me, remember, I killed my own friend just because she wore a dress like mine." Hearing her threat, the other girls got scared. They thought that maybe something would change now, so no one said anything to her again. But the next morning, she too was put to work like everyone else. She and another girl were made to plow the fields like animals. This was still an easy job. Here, people had to do even more terrifying tasks, which you will find out about later. After working all day, when a girl got tired, she asked the head of the workers for water. The man spat in her face. The girl swallowed the humiliation and quietly returned. Just then, another worker gave her water from his own bottle. Seeing this, the head got angry and started beating that worker. The worker then pulled out a knife and attacked the head. Bobby arrived at the right time and separated the two. The next day, the girls were assigned to build a new storehouse. They had to lift heavy stones and logs. This work was very difficult for them. During this, Carmen injured her hand. A man came forward to help her, but a guard pushed him away. He didn't want unity or humanity to grow among the prisoners. After a hard day's work, when the girls went to rest, a guard came and called them for night duty, except for Carmen, because she had to go to Bobby. Such was the life of women here. It wasn't that the men's lives were easy. They had to play with death every day. The next day during work, a fight broke out between two prisoners, in which one was killed. But no one cared, because this had been happening here for years. Later, some people took the body and threw it into the sea, where the fish ate it. Here, neither men nor women were safe. Everyone was just living at God's mercy. One day, when some women and men went to wash clothes, some rebel prisoners attacked. These were the people who had escaped from Bobby's camp. They killed the guards and took the girls with them. When Bobby found out, he was furious. He ordered his men to catch them all, or he would kill everyone. On the other side, in the rebels' camp, people were living of their own free will. There was no coercion there. But a man named Toller was not happy with this atmosphere. One day, he tried to force himself on a girl named Lee, but the camp's people explained to him that such things were not tolerated here. But Toller had something else on his mind. A few days later, finding Lee alone, he tried the same thing again. But this time, Lee was determined to take revenge. She first lured Toller into her web of love. Then one day, she smeared honey on the most sensitive part of his body. Toller thought she loved him, but he was unaware of the danger to come. Lee threw a stone at a nearby beehive. And then what? The bees attacked Toller, and he ran away screaming. Meanwhile, Bobby found out that the rebels were hiding nearby. He sent his men to attack them. The rebels were preparing to change their camp, as they changed their location daily. But just then, a shower of arrows began. People were dying on both sides. The rebels somehow managed to escape, but they were very sad about the death of their comrades. Fed up with all this, the girls now decided that instead of running, they had to find a solid solution. If you want to live, you have to fight. Meanwhile, a prisoner in Bobby's camp had made a radio. If they could contact the outside world, they could be saved. But it wasn't easy, because the sea was patrolled by the military, and escaping was impossible. But let's see what happens next. Just then, Lily finds a thermite stone, which could be used to make grenades. Now they had a weapon to fight with. Dr. Milford had also now joined the rebel group. They started grinding the thermite to make a bomb, but it wasn't fully ready yet. During this, a girl named Bunny went to bathe in a nearby waterfall when Bobby's men caught her and brought her back to the camp as a prisoner. Just then, the rebels heard on the radio that a police boat would pass by the island the next morning. They had a golden opportunity. They planned to use Bunny as bait. The next morning, when the rebels saw Bunny tied up on the seashore, they felt very bad at first, but soon they understood the whole plan. A little later, the police boat arrived. When the officers saw Bunny tied up, they came to the shore to free her. In the meantime, one of Bobby's men secretly boarded their boat. He stole the officers' weapons and killed them both with them. Now Bobby had a boat and weapons, but someone else was watching them. Yes, Thomas and his rebels. They killed Bobby's lone man and took the boat and all the weapons. Now their next target was Bobby. But wait a minute. Now they had the means to escape. So why weren't they saving their own lives instead of fighting? Well, perhaps fate had something else in store. Bunny was also back in the rebel group. That night, the doctor told his story of how he was framed in a false case. He wanted to go back and prove his innocence. Everyone decided that the next morning they would attack Bobby's camp. As morning came, Thomas explained her task to Bunny and approached the camp with a few men. Bunny first blew up the bathroom with a bomb, killing one man. The whole camp fell into chaos. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Thomas started firing. Many people were killed, but Bobby was still alive. Lily ran towards Bobby's bunker with a grenade, but before she could do anything, Bobby shot her. Bobby's companion, Monk, came to him and said that he had made a huge mistake. Then Bobby revealed that he had killed 2 girls. Yes, Bunny was also dead. When the doctor brought Bunny's body, he went mad with rage. He threw a grenade straight into Bobby's bunker, causing a huge explosion. Bobby came out with his body on fire, but no one helped him. Monk survived, but he lost both his eyes. Slowly, life on the island started getting back on track. Everything was as before, but now no one was anyone's slave. Everyone worked of their own free will. Surprisingly, no one tried to escape from there. Perhaps because the only way to escape was the sea, which was watched by the military. And nothing is more precious than life. If you like this story, please like the video and don't forget to support Winds of Thought. A few days later, another new prisoner arrives on the island. And this time too, Dr. Milford was standing to welcome him, just as he always did. And with that, this story ends here.